Why 90% of new small businesses in Canada are doomed to fail. You've been told that all you need to succeed in business is a great idea and a ton of passion. Frankly, that's a lie. The hard truth is, most new businesses are destined to fail. The numbers are pretty sobering. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, about 21% of new businesses don't even make it past their first year. After 5 years, almost half are gone. And by the time they hit the 10-year mark, a staggering 65% have shut their doors for good. But what if I told you that a huge number of these failures aren't just bad luck? What if they could be avoided by focusing on a single document that a shocking percentage of founders, nearly 1 in 3, and even more for smaller companies, completely ignore? Stay with me because you're about to learn what that document is and how it can become the roadmap that saves your business from becoming just another statistic. Section 1. The Anatomy of Failure. To fix the problem, you first have to understand what's actually causing it. Why do so many businesses, launched with so much hope and energy, end up on the scrap heap? When you look at the post-mortems of failed companies, a clear pattern emerges. The number one killer, accounting for up to 42% of failures, is no market need. This is that classic story of a founder who builds something they think is brilliant, only to find out that nobody actually wants to pay for it. They fell in love with their solution before ever confirming the problem was real. The second most common cause of death is simply running out of cash, which takes down around 29% to 38% of failed startups. This isn't just about not having enough money, it's about mismanaging the money you do have. It's underestimating your costs, wildly overestimating your revenues, and having no real grip on the financial pulse of your business. Of course, other reasons pile on. Getting outcompeted, having the wrong people on the bus, pricing your product into oblivion, and terrible marketing. But if you look closely, these aren't separate problems. They're all symptoms of a much deeper mistake. They are all branches of the same poison tree. A lack of market need is a failure of research. Running out of cash is a failure of forecasting. Getting outcompeted is a failure of strategy. At their core, all of these are failures of planning, and they all lead back to the one document that could have made all the difference. Section 2. The Revelation, the document that changes everything. So, what is this magical document? It's not some secret marketing hack, a revolutionary piece of software, or a complex legal trick. It's the business plan. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. A business plan? Isn't that some dusty 50-page binder you only write to get a bank loan? That is the exact mindset that dooms so many entrepreneurs. They see it as a chore to be checked off, or even worse, skipped entirely. And the data shows it. Depending on the study, anywhere from 27% to over half of small business owners admit to not having a formal, written business plan. They're essentially trying to fly a plane while building it, with no blueprints and no destination in mind. This isn't a small oversight. It's the central error. In fact, it's no coincidence that when you study failed businesses, you almost always find a weak or non-existent business plan at the scene of the crime. A business plan isn't a dusty old document. It's a living, breathing strategy. It's the GPS for your company, built to guide you through every single stage of starting, running, and growing. It forces you to answer the hardest questions before you've bet your life savings on the answers. Section 3. Your roadmap to survival and growth. Thinking a business plan is only for getting a loan is like thinking a blueprint is only for getting a construction permit. The real value of the blueprint is making sure you build the house correctly. The same is true for your business plan. And the data backs this up big time. Studies have shown that businesses with a formal plan don't just survive, they thrive. They can grow up to 30% faster than those flying blind. They're far more likely to secure investment capital. Even more telling, entrepreneurs who actually complete a business plan are up to 2.5 times more likely to get their business off the ground in the first place. It's the act of planning that turns a vague idea into a concrete business. A great business plan does 3 things no founder can afford to ignore. First, it validates your idea. It forces you to do the market research that so many people skip. Who are your customers? What problem are you really solving for them? This protects you from the number one killer of startups, building something nobody wants. Second, it maps out your money. It makes you project your expenses, forecast your revenue, and get intimately familiar with your cash flow. This is your best defense against the number two killer, running out of money. You'll know your burn rate, your runway, and how much cash you really need to survive the early days. You stop guessing and start calculating. Third, it creates your strategy. It's the document that outlines how you'll market your product, how you'll price it, and how you'll stand out from the noise. It's the playbook that gets your entire team aligned and rowing in the same direction. If this is starting to click and you want to make sure your business is built to last, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button. We're constantly putting out content with actionable strategies to help you not just survive, but actually dominate in your industry. Section 4, the anatomy of a winning business plan. All right, so you're convinced, but what actually goes into a business plan that works? Forget the 50-page monsters of the past. A modern business plan is lean, clear, and focused on action. Here are the parts you absolutely cannot skip. First, the executive summary. This is the one-page highlight reel of your entire business. If someone only reads this single page, they should get it. Your mission, your product, your market, and what you need. Pro tip, write this part last. Next, the market analysis. This is where you stop assuming and start proving. Who is your ideal customer? Be specific. How big is the total market? Who are your competitors, both direct and indirect? What are their weaknesses, and how will you carve out a space they've missed? This section stops you from walking into a battle you have no chance of winning. Then comes products and services. What exactly are you selling? What's your unique value proposition? Don't just list features, describe the benefits. How do you make your customer's life easier, better, or cheaper? After that, your marketing and sales strategy. This is your plan to get customers. How will people even find out you exist? Content marketing, social media, paid ads, cold outreach. A great product with no marketing is just a secret, and secrets don't make money. Crucially, you need financial projections. For any investor and for your own sanity, this is the heart of the plan. You need a sales forecast, an expense budget, and a cash flow statement. And be real. Your investors have seen 1,000 hockey stick growth charts. They know you're not conquering the world in 6 months. Acknowledge your costs and be honest that you might not be profitable right away. Ground your numbers in reality. Finally, your team. Who's running this ship? What experience do they have? Investors always say they bet on the jockey, not the horse. Show them you have a team with the skills to actually pull this plan off. Section 5, the living document. Here's the biggest mistake people make after writing a business plan. They let it gather dust on a shelf. A business plan is not a static document you write once and then frame. It is a dynamic guide that should change as your business changes. A majority of business owners, 88% in one survey, agree that a plan should be a living document. The market will shift. A new competitor will show up unannounced. Your customers will give you feedback that sends you in a brilliant new direction. That's not just okay, it's guaranteed to happen. Your business plan is your tool for managing that change. When you face a big decision, you go back to the plan. Does this shiny new opportunity align with our mission? How does this unexpected cost screw up our financial projections? It turns reactive panic into proactive strategy. Businesses that regularly review their plans are the ones that can pivot and adapt. The ones without a map are just thrown off course by the first storm. The founders who succeed aren't the ones with a perfect plan. They're the ones who have a plan, execute it, measure the results, and then adapt the plan based on what the real world tells them. They don't fly blind. The conclusion. So, why are so many new businesses doomed? It's not bad luck. It's not because entrepreneurship is some impossible code to crack. It's because an idea and passion are not enough. The brutal failure rates, almost half gone in 5 years, 2/3 gone in 10, are a direct result of a failure to plan. The biggest reasons for failure, from running out of cash to making a product no one wants, can almost always be traced back to the absence of one foundational document, a well-researched, realistic, and living business plan. The great news is, this is entirely within your control. You don't have to become another statistic. By taking the time to create your roadmap, to analyze your market, to master your financials, to define your strategy, you dramatically shift the odds in your favor. You leave the world of hope and enter the world of strategy. Don't be one of the business owners who ignores this. Your dream depends on it. What are your biggest fears about starting a business? Have you started your business plan yet? Drop your thoughts and questions in the comments below. Let's tackle this together. And be sure to watch our next video on the 3 financial metrics that can predict business failure a year in advance.